don't even think like that, but you'll say some craziness, and because sometimes it works, but also because it's just the two of us on this podcast. And if we're sitting up here and agreeing with each other, we aren't presenting those other viewpoints. And so I sometimes play
how convenient of you. I really think
devil's advocate.
I really think you think women are catty,
advocate.
and I will take it up with you later.
Women is catty. They do be. No, but seriously. Yeah, I'll be so catty. But the other reason why I think it's important, my experience is interesting in that I am a gay man who, if he chooses not to allow you to know that he's gay, doesn't have to be gay. Because I know how to play the stereotypes. I'm trained in acting. So, yeah, I could do that. So what I find sometimes is when I'm in a situation with women and they are aware of the fact that I'm gay, it's almost a license to be liberal and say things like what this woman said about this other woman who taught the yoga class. Okay. So, and I think that that's an important part to bring out.
So that's like another part of the stereotype, right? Like,
right. I'm a catty gay man.
You're the catty, sassy.
Exactly. So you can say that to me. And that's why I was very, very clear with the term catty, because there is this misconception that gay black men are also catty, reinforced by the Real Housewives of insert the name here, where you see the gay black man, girl, you need to know that he don't know, and I don't even know why she wore that dress because it didn't fit, in all of this foolishness is really what it is. People can't differentiate between entertainment and real life. And so I'm in a yoga class meditating before class, and I have someone talking about someone who I personally find to be a beautiful woman, both inside and out. And her yoga practice, I know this is an old word, but her yoga practice is on fleek. Do you understand me? I don't care. I'm going to use that word till I'm 56. 58, 59. Right. It was on fleek. The woman is absolutely amazing. And I learned so much from taking her class and get so much out of it. So I think that's an important point to bring up. When I'm in spaces where I'm with men who identify, at least on the outside, as heterosexual, there's not an outward statement like this, but I think it's important to say that while that group of men at the back aren't talking about each other, that group of men at the back of the gym do sometimes engage in conversations about women.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Look at her. Look at her behind. Yeah, you know she didn't do that, getting squat. She bought that. Blah, 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 blah. So I'm privy to it from two perspectives. As a heteronormative cisgender man and as an openly gay man. Depending upon who I'm with, I hear it both ways. But I don't hear men often talking about men. And I think that's a conversation that people need to have. Why is that?
So for me, I think the underpinning of all of this comes through the lens of sexism. And so what happens is, let me take you on the journey of my brain and how I put all the pieces together. So when I think about sexism, I'm specifically defining sexism as a system of oppression in which men and things that are associated with masculinity are seen as more valuable and have more privilege in society than things that are seen as feminine or associated with femininity in our society. Most easily, folks like to break that down to be like men versus women. But we have to be very grateful to our trans brothers and sisters for helping us really be expansive about our definitions around gender. So I don't think it is as explicit and categorical as men versus women, but really around the characteristics or things associated with masculinity and with femininity. So then if we take that step, one of the ways that I think sexism operates is to overemphasize women's physical characteristics and their sense of attractiveness and worth. And then that is then used as a sense of currency, if you will. So the reason why I think we see so many of these things play out is because we do make it this tacit assumption that how you look physically gets associated with your attractiveness, which gets associated with your overall worth and value. And so then we're all playing that little, we're all playing out our part in kind of contributing to that sense of oppression when we are so over focused on how we look and what that look and how we look fitting a specific package, right? This is why breast enhancement cosmetic surgery is so still popular, and butt enhancement and hip enhancement plastic surgery, right? That men aren't running out and getting butt implants. Men are running out and getting chest implants, pec implants, or calf implants, right? Just do your calf raises, fellas. Just do that. I don't really think that all that's necessary.
But why are you trying to body shame their implants? Let them have those implants. If they want to have some pecs, they can have some nice pecs. They don't have to work for that. We all why saline solution only for contacts and women's breasts? Why is that? What's that all about? That's a bit unfair.
You can't be that transparent if you want to get me riled up. You got to be a little bit more subtle. You got to let me think that you actually think those things. But for me, it all comes down to this kind of overall system of sexism, which is why I think, and so that connection between what you look like being equal to your worth and value is what really is the problem for me, right? So how much you weigh and what dress size you wear. And like you were able to rattle off your measurements from 35 years ago.
Don't do that. Don't be that one.
With such
because
vivid clarity.
I may be okay with my body image, but this age is not cute, so don't do it. I can't run.
But that's what
fast.
I'm saying.
These stairs hurt. I know when it's going to rain before the weather tell me.
that old knee start to creak.
That old knee start creaking. all that jazz in my 20s done messed up my knee.
Oh my gosh, man! I used to jam so hard back in the day. Anyway, and so. But that, to me, that's the real issue, right? So it becomes this constant renegotiation, right? So now I have to figure out, how do I love this body that I'm in for all the right reasons? And we talked a little bit about this in our body positivity podcast last season, right? So being able to shift the focus from what does this body look like to what does my body do for me? How can I value myself for my own standards? Because the reality for me personally is I was never going to be that thin ideal. Like from 1 year old. Thick thighs saves lives has been my motto for life. Like there's never been a time where I have not been shapely. My grandmother back in the day used to call it being healthy.
That's the gospel right there. What you saying right there. Because I am from New England. It gets cold up here. I got to have some thick thighs to keep me warm during these cold winter months. Which is why I'm resting comfortably around a 200, and I'm okay with that. Absolutely.
So
okay
I think that's the issue, right? So, and that's where I continue to struggle is how do I get okay with it? Because clearly I've thought this through, right? Clearly I am an informed person. I'm aware of how, and so let me say, I didn't talk about this piece. One of the other things that I'm aware of is this idea of kind of appearance comparison, right? This other kind of idea that one of the ways that we figure out our own sense of attraction is by looking at other people. That's a real thing, like what we were talking about. So I think what happens is people tend to try to find people pay attention to other bodies in our world, whether that's through social media, things that you're consuming, or magazines or television, or even in your the personal life people that you know for sure, we tend to look for bodies that are close to our ideal. And then we look at that body and we say, well, her thighs are, they thick, but I like how they're like toned, how they come together. Oh, I really like the way she wears that. Oh, that waist is snatched. Oh, I really like her hair. I wonder if I can get my hair like that. We do these sorts of kind of constant comparison with other folks as a way to try to gauge our own standard of beauty, our own standard of body acceptance, right? And so we're constantly trying to get closer. Well, maybe if I do some more squats, I could get my butt to pop. Like, again, speaking personally, I have some cousins.
Did you? Wait a minute.
Oh, my God.
No.
Yes, I did. I'm about to go there. Let me say, I have some cousins for whom I have like such butt envy. I'm so serious. It's so real. Like one of my cousins, this was years ago, one of my cousins was like, would you stop staring at my ass? And I was like, I can't. It's just mesmerizing. I don't understand how it just sits out like a perfect C like that. Mine doesn't do that.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
You see my butt. You know it does not.
No, I'm not. First of all, I haven't even moved past you saying that doing squats to keep your butt popping. I'm like, this is a doctor who just got through talking about the theory of sexism and how it plays into body image, who is talking about popping booties. Oh,
and this is my whole point.
We have arrived.
Now you come into the conversation. This is my whole point. Like, none of us are immune to it. Wow. That's my whole point. None of us are immune to it. From my 6-year-old being upset that somebody called her fat, with her weighing at the time probably 37 whole pounds, to
must
me.
Be nice.
No, see, don't even say that. That's not cute.
Let me stop.
It's not. That's not cute at all.
Must be nice to be 37 pounds, little girl, and be able to eat hot Takis. If I eat hot Takis, I'll gain 37 pounds, little girl.
Pretty much. So what's happened to me since I gave birth to her. Just like if I smell a hot Taki. Cheese, if it's in the room, automatically gaining 5 pounds. No, but seriously, I really sincerely don't know people who don't have this concern. Now, to be clear, there is a wide range of concern, right? Like for some people, it's a passing thought, and there are people that are very happy with their bodies, in whatever shape they are in, whatever size they're in. I want to know those people more, and I want them to talk about that more because I'm trying to internalize that more for myself.
Okay, I'll talk to you now then, because I'm actually one of those people, and I'm being totally serious. So let me and yeah, I was going to say I'm going to be real serious for a second because we like to have fun and kiki and make jokes and stuff like this, but this is actually really serious. And in the work, okay.
But wait, should we take a break before you do this? You want to do that?
Yeah, I think we should because, let's do that.
So you can get your thoughts together.
Take
a break and then we'll come back
right
after
back. Let's take care of that. We'll be right back on Doopy Deep with Dr. Nikki.
Every 2 minutes, an American is sexually assaulted. Be the someone who gives their time. Be the someone who lends an ear. Be the someone who takes a step. This is Christina Ricci with RAIN, asking you to join the fight against sexual violence and volunteer in your community. Log on to rain.org, that's RAINN.org, to learn how you can be the someone.
This message brought to you by the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network and this station.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Para mucha gente del país, tener un día de tranquilidad con la familia es difícil. Le pasa a Raquel, de Dallas, una madre que trabaja.
Los niños tienen que ir a la escuela, nosotros tenemos que ir al trabajo.
Le pasa a Salvador, un taxista de Nueva York que tiene 2